Ruthless leaders have always existed in history books, but the brutality inflicted by these leaders on humanity has led to insurmountable losses. Here are some of the 10 most notorious dictators that have ever ruled. Number 10. Idi Amin. General Idi Amin overthrew Uganda's government in a military coup, instating himself as the new president. Almost overnight, he became known for his cruelty, known as the Butcher of Uganda. His rule was exceptionally immoral and murderous. During his 8 years in power, he massively mismanaged the economy, persecuted multiple ethnic groups, drove Uganda's Asian population out of the country, and killed with recklessness abandon. Around 100,000 to 500,000 people were killed by his command. Number 9. Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was president of Iraq from 1979 to 2003. The common thread in his life was his morbid thirst for power, absolute power, no matter how high the cost was in human blood. Saddam was notable for using terror against his people, including mustard and nerve gas to subdue the Kurds. He attacked Iran in 1980. The war ended in a stalemate and 1 million dead. Having learned nothing, he invaded Kuwait in 1990, leading to the First Gulf War, and another 85,000 dead. Uprisings after the war led to the death of some 150,000 civilians. The list goes on and on and on, until he was toppled in 2003 by American and Allied forces, and hanged in 2006. Number 8. Queen Mary I, also known as Bloody Mary. She was the only child of King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, a devout Catholic. When Mary I became Queen of England, she wanted to share her beliefs with all of England. By share, I mean mandate. The dictator married Philip II of Spain, who was also Catholic, and began a campaign of murdering hundreds of Protestants. During her 5-year reign, Mary had over 300 religious dissenters burnt at the stake in what is known as the Marian persecutions. It is a statistic that seems barbaric, but her father, Henry VIII, executed 81 people for heresy, and her half-sister, Elizabeth I, also executed scores of people for their faith. Number 7. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong was an influential communist leader of China who ruled with an iron fist. He was once known for his political intellect and strategies, and he made some positive changes, like modernizing China and improving education, healthcare, and women's rights. Unfortunately, his regime was also totalitarian and repressive. He ordered the destruction of many religious and cultural artifacts, took control of all industry and agriculture, and snuffed out any opposition like a candle. His harsh policies encouraged forced labor and led to the death of over 40 million people through starvation and mass executions. Number 6. Leopold II. The Belgian king Leopold II was a nasty piece of work. He deserves inclusion in this list by what happened in Congo, which he acquired as his private property in 1885 in the Berlin Conference, when much of Africa was being divided among European powers. From the beginning, he was in it for the money, extracting the maximum amount of wealth from this huge colony. Millions of Congolese inhabitants, including children, were mutilated, killed, or died from disease during his rule. Failure to meet rubber collection quotas was punishable by death. Forced labor was instituted to increase production. Around 10 million people died during his brutal regime in Congo. Not that he cared. Things got so bad in 1908, he was forced to hand over the colony to the Belgian state. Number 5. Joseph Mengele. No list of 20th century evil leaders is complete without Joseph Mengele, whose nickname, Angel of Death, says enough. He was the most prominent medical doctor at the Auschwitz medical camp. Here, the concentration camp seems too friendly of a term. He selected victims to be killed in the gas chambers and happily administered the gas himself. This is bad enough. But what earned him his place in these top 10 of infamy is his experimentation on humans. Mengele used the death camp as an opportunity to continue his research into genetics and heredity. He was fascinated by twins. The experiments he performed on twins included amputation of limbs, intentionally infecting one twin with typhus or some other disease, and transfusing the blood of that twin into the other. He experimented to change eye color, including injecting chemicals into the eyes of living objects, and so on. Mengele has become the stereotype of the mad scientist, for whom ethical boundaries were a nuisance. Number 4. Kim Sung. Kim was the dictator of North Korea from 1949 till his death in 1994. The official name of North Korea is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. All of it is a lie. There is nothing democratic about North Korea. The people are treated as slaves, and it is not a republic but a de facto kingdom, with leadership going from father to son. Kim invaded South Korea in 1950, and in this war, some 3 million people perished, including 12 to 15% of North Korea's population. Subsequent Stalinist economic policies and widespread repression led to poverty and famine in which hundreds of thousands, if not millions, died. Sadly, the country has not improved much under his son and grandson, both of whom are utterly ruthless, evil leaders in their own right. What a family. Number 3. Pol Pot. Pol Pot was the leader of the Cambodian revolutionary group, the Khmer, which had orchestrated the Cambodian genocide. Pol Pot wanted to destroy the Cambodian civilization to start a new regime. He is probably the only man in history who carried out a mass genocide in his own country. During his reign as Prime Minister from 1976 to 1979, his policies led to the death of approximately 2 million people, which was 25% of the entire population. He liked to keep the skulls of people he had killed, and he went as far as ordering babies to be torn limb by limb. Number 2. Joseph Stalin. In any list of evil men, the Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin ranks high. He rose to power in the 1920s after the death of Lenin. A succession of 5-year programs industrialized the country, but at unimaginable human costs. This and the forced collectivization of agriculture led to widespread famine, which costed the lives of countless millions. Then came the Great Terror, involving purge after purge of the party apparatus and society. Millions were sent to forced labor camps. Their death, or both, the death rate of the gulags was horrific. Almost all senior Red Army officers were purged shortly after Hitler attacked, ensuring the dismissal performance and the horrific losses in the early stages of World War II. Number 1. Adolf Hitler. Any list of evilness invariably is topped by German Chancellor Adolf Hitler, who came to power democratically in January 1933. His mad quest for revenge, conquest, and ethnic cleansing nearly succeeded. In December 1941, nearly all of Europe was under his heel. After Stalingrad, though, the Third Reich lost battle after battle, and in May 1945, after Hitler committed suicide, Germany unconditionally surrendered. The country lay in ruins, 6 million Jews murdered, and in World War II, in total, mourned some 55 million dead. Hate, racism, xenophobia, and megalomania are some but a few words to describe this man. He's likely responsible for the greatest amount of human loss and destruction orchestrated by a single man in all of history. Interesting, right? Well, you can find more interesting topics by subscribing to our channel. Also, do remember to like, share, comment, and hit the notification button so you don't miss out on amazing content.